Welcome to the City of Pasadena Council meeting, January 21st, 2020. We'll start with the invocation by Luann Nolan. Well,
Now Stanley.
I apologize for that. And Councilman Sammy Casados will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Everybody, please stand.
Mayor, Council, Madam Secretary, please join me in prayer. Heavenly Father, we ask for your blessings on the mayor and members of this council and all the great city employees from directors to waste disposal and beyond that carry out the business items in these meetings that makes Pasadena great. Guide all of us every day in a spirit of cooperation, kindness, unity, and respect. Help us to remember that even the smallest act of kindness can bring sunshine into another person's life and can change the world into a better place for a moment and maybe even a lifetime. With special blessings of protection, Lord, watch over our police, firefighters, and first responders. In a world with much chaos, we are especially grateful, Lord, for the freedom that we are so blessed to enjoy, and ask for blessings for our military, past and present, who protect it, and blessings for our friends and especially our families. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Y'all please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Texas flag.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Councilman Casados.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, everyone, for coming out this evening and being part of city government. We appreciate y'all being here. And young man, I'm jealous. Wish I had a head of hair like that. There you go.
We all do.
Yeah. But no, I want to thank everyone for being out here, and I want to thank. We have a veteran out in the audience, Mr. Jason or Hernandez, Iraqi veteran. Thank you, sir, for being here. And I kind of want to touch a little bit on some things that happened. Our last meeting, Mr. Hernandez came up to speak and wasn't really able to finish what he was going to say as far as having a business and trying to get some things going. I feel like that particular time and moment, as far as being able to speak, especially when it comes to your livelihood, is very important. I would like to ask the city to please work with this gentleman and his family, and so that his business can stay in Pasadena, and work with him in a way that we value our small businesses in the city. I think that's one of the main things that we should all do. They are a driving force of this economy, and without them, our tax base is very low. So that being said, I hope this administration will try and work with you, sir, and help you out. With that, I pass.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Woolley.
Thank you, Mayor. Welcome everyone to this night's council meeting. In that vein of comment, I'd like to take a moment. I was in the Marine Corps, and I deployed with Echo Battery, 2nd Battalion, 10th Marines in 2006, returned back in 2007. And tonight is it's an anniversary, a somber anniversary for myself and people of our unit. Tonight we lost a good, 13 years ago today, lost a good Marine from the state of Washington. His name was Daryl Morrison, and I just want to pay my respects to him and his family and know that we haven't forgotten him. That'll pass.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Caton.
I'd like to thank everyone for coming out and being part of city government tonight. I noticed Shannon Lopez from Waste Management is in the audience. I just want to plug her. That storm that came through last Friday blew my back fence down and my side fence. So I got some help from my daughter and her boyfriend. We took everything out to the front, called her, and within 10 minutes, she had a picker truck over there and lifted everything. In fact, there was one little 1x2 that he couldn't get, so he got out of his truck, came over there and picked it up and threw it up in the truck. I just want to plug you.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Bass.
I just want to know, did you help them?
Yes.
Okay. Thank y'all for coming tonight, and we got a little rain coming in. This is going to clear out, and we're supposed to have a beautiful weekend after that. Appreciate y'all participating in city government. With that, I'll pass.
Councilman Shanebone.
Good evening, everyone. And I, too, am a strong supporter of small business and entrepreneurs. And, we need to look at some of our ordinances and some of our permitting and to be able to address the needs of our small business owners. And I know some of that is already in the process, but I think we can work harder as a group and as a community to work with our small businesses. Also, too, on another note, we live in challenging times, and cybersecurity is one of those issues that faces our city. And I want to commend our IT department, our directors, for giving us the information to protect our city services. Also, too, I would like for them to be challenged to find new ways to constantly improve our security systems against cyber attacks. So with that being said, I look forward to some projects and some innovation technology to keep our city safe and secure. And I'd like to also welcome Mr. Leroy Stanley and Ms. Pat Van Hout, our former council members. Y'all have a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Barr.
I just want to wish Councilmember Casados a happy birthday. I think his birthday was this past weekend. And also, Jason, thank you for your service to this country. And hopefully we can work with you. I know you've been communicating with the planning department. There's been some difficulties there, but we'll follow up on it and try to see if we can get a resolution for you. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Lee.
Thank everybody for coming out. And along the lines of what Councilman Ibarra and Casadas have mentioned, my district is full of small family-owned businesses, and there's been numerous times when a business owner has called me and they've been running into various difficulties, getting their business started. So along with what Councilman Casada said, I hope the city will look at ways that we can help these small businesses and get them going, because that's what Pasadena needs. We need to continue to help small business. And one other thing I'd like to mention, next Monday, the 27th, the Queens Neighborhood Meeting will be at 7 o'clock at Sunset Methodist Church, and remind everybody in the Queens area, come out to the meeting. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Councilman Harrison.
Thank you, Mayor. A veteran here, he's asking the city for support. And I've been reading through this pamphlet he gave us. He served in Iraq. He's got a 13-year-old child, 1-year-old, and I think another baby when this article was written. I believe 3 children. And also, is Major Greg Cheney, 38 of Abilene, said he'll be thinking of his daughter, 13-year-old Chelsea, and 1-year-old Sherry today. This is the specialist Jason Hernandez, member of the Texas National Guard, served in Iraq in 2006. If you really want to have a veteran out, put your money where your mouth is. Ask the planning department to send a variance to the city council where we can vote it up or down. This talk of waiting and changing artists and everything else, this guy's a businessman. His money's invested right now. He needs to spend it now. It's a sacrifice on his family. And I will deserve a consideration for a variance for him on this city council if planning would send it to us. Second thing, Adrian Garcia, the county commissioner. He's got a lot of projects he wants to coordinate with the city of Pasadena. And I think that's great. We're going to coordinate city projects with the county commissioner. You know, that's the way it should be. We pay a certain percent and they pay a certain percent. But anyway, Mr. Hernandez, good luck to you. I'm here for you, and we'll see what happens. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay. Brings down a citizen's wishing to speak to council. Mr. Pittman, you're first.
Mayor, City Councilman, Linda. It's an honor to speak with y'all tonight, but what I have to say is when I'm sick, I do a lot of reading. And the last 3 weeks, I have been sick. I had that stuff that's been going around. I read the city charter, our individual oaths that we take. I read the bylaws, and out of everything I pulled up, there was not one thing that says me. It's all for the city. You know, when we take oaths, I know we get elected in districts, but when we get elected in that, does not mean that you just got to take care of your district. City of Pasadena is a growing city. City of Pasadena is going to bust all bounds this coming next few years. You watch us. We're going to move up. Small businesses, they're wonderful. I was a Vietnam veteran, you know, and I support all veterans. But in the 101st Airborne, we had a saying, one for all for one. We never left anybody behind. That's the same way y'all need to look at it. It's not individual projects y'all working for. It's the city. If everybody here, I know everyone here has given up a lot of your time for the city of Pasadena, but just think how it could be if everybody worked together on a project, how much we could get done. Instead of arguing and fighting and pushing our own individual say-sos, individual say-sos does not mean nothing at the end of the day. It's what we accomplish as a city. It's the small business owners. It's the city school children. We got some of the best schools in the world. We make sure if a student cannot make the grades, we have trade schools for them. What other country does that? Y'all have put this together. So we need to push more good things. To heck with individuality. That's one of the things I wish we could take out of our city meetings is individuality and become one. Are we all going to be right all the time? No. I don't care if it's the mayor. I don't care if it's Bruce or Harris or anybody. Nobody's going to be right 100% of the time. That's when we have all y'all elected for one thing. That's to get together, pool your resources, your intelligence, and get one thing that's going to strive and push this city forward. I appreciate your time, and God bless the Pasadena City.
Thank you, sir. Jason Hernandez.
Hello, I'm Jason Hernandez, owner of E&J Transportation at 3119 Lily Street. I'm here to talk about veteran-owned small business in the city of Pasadena. I'd like to start by quoting John Fitzgerald Kennedy. This nation was founded by men of many nations and backgrounds. It was founded on the principle that all men are created equal and that the rights of every man are diminished when the rights of one man are threatened. I am that one man that John F. Kennedy was talking about, and everybody else here is having the rights diminished. I will explain to you, gentlemen, why I feel like I've been singled out and discriminated against. The first thing I would tell you is this. We were told by senior code enforcer Jeremy Armstrong that he had orders from higher up to close us down, that the mayor and city council were against us doing business at our location. Only you gentlemen know the answer, and if that was the case. We were told by Diana Schmidt that 2 businesses before us were told you cannot use the property for trucking. We were not told, though. Although before we bought the property, Ordinance 9.8 heavy trucking had not even passed. So telling them that they could not open their business wasn't true. That's something to look into. Diana Schmidt told me and my wife, things that happened before me aren't going to happen here anymore. I can only assume she meant veteran-owned small business. I don't want to have to deal further with Diana Schmidt because I don't feel that she wants to help me. She told me I slipped through the cracks. You know, and in reality, it's the planning's incompetence and lackadaisical attitude that allowed me to slip through. Everything that I've just said to you is the reason why I feel singled out. I'm sure that whatever I said will be denied. But what cannot be denied are these facts. We purchased the property before Ordinance 9.8 heavy trucking was passed. We should be grandfathered in. We purchased the property and had our occupancy inspection before Ordinance 9.8 was publicly available. Public availability is required by Texas state law as well as federal law. We should be grandfathered in. These are the facts. The facts are undisputed. If one wanted a lawsuit, one could win with these facts and technicalities. But I don't want a lawsuit. I just want my occupancy permit. So I implore you, good councilman, mayor, help the people of Pasadena for the sake of the little guy, that's me, and for the growth of the city of Pasadena. Gentlemen, I served my country and completed 150 combat missions. I am a combat infantryman. I would die for my country. All I'm asking is if for all the years of serving my country and working for my government, can my government work for me just this once? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Jocelyn Hernandez. Jocelyn Hernandez.
Good evening. My name is Jocelyn Hernandez. My husband and I are here today to address the issues that Planning Department has put in us. As business owners, we did our due diligence prior to purchasing the property. We spoke to Permitting Department to discuss truck routes, parking ordinance, and for our trucking business, sorry. After reviewing the information referred to us by permitting, nothing led us to believe that we would have an issue. So we decided to purchase 3119 Lilly Street, a dream come true that quickly turned into a nightmare. On December 5th, during initial inspection, planning notified us that an occupancy permit will not be approved. I was informed that nothing on the property was grandfathered in because planning just passed new ordinance for heavy trucks. How in the world did we miss this after inquiring precise information related to running our business out of this property? Well, Ordinance 9.8 heavy trucks had not been accessible to the public. It was until the next business day after our inspection, December 6th, when the ordinance was made public. Our rights have been violated. Planning held very important public information from the citizens of Pasadena. Our sacrificed time, energy, money to obtain this property has been flushed down the drain from the incompetence of the Planning and Permitting Department. After being denied our occupancy permit, we met with Ms. Gianna Schmidt and Ms. Sarah Benavides, Director of Planning and Public Works, to find a solution for the mistakes made on their behalf. Sadly, all we got from it was a sense that Ms. Deanna took joy in telling us that nothing could be done. She was arrogant and asked irrelevant questions like, why do business in Pasadena? In the end, all she could say was, unfortunately, we fell through the cracks. But I ask, whose fault is it that we fell through the cracks? Ms. Schmidt has now sent code enforcement to shut off utilities and inform us that we had until yesterday to remove all of our vehicles off the premises, or we'd be cited and shut down. Why are we paying for their mistakes? The department that is supposed to help plan your business is also the one crushing it. We feel discriminated, unheard, helpless. My husband, a combat veteran who gave his service to his country, and I ask you, Mayor and council members, for your service to help make this right for us. This is unjust. The lack of information provided to the public can be one's destruction, in this case, ours. We owe on a property that we cannot use because the proper information was not accessible to us. I feel like a simple I'm sorry just does not cut it. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Randy Hernandez. Randy Hernandez.
Good evening. I'm here to speak on behalf of my son, Jason. Jason served 10 years in the Armed Forces, the Army. My son is a proud man. Proud he served for his country. And every year on Veterans Day, you'll see him walking down Main Street in his Army fatigues, carrying the American flag in honor of his fallen comrades and fighting for his country. I remember when Jason came home, he said he had a hard time adjusting. He would have nightmares. Many of the things he did and many things he saw, he just wouldn't let him be. Jason, like many of his comrades, went to the VA, and their solution to the problem was drugs. Jason got off those drugs and focused on his wife and his newborn son. I remember his first Christmas he came home. He came to me and said, Dad, I've got no money for Christmas and my family. And even worse, I operate $1 million pieces of machinery in the Army, and I can't even get a job by just flipping hamburgers. I told Jason, like any father would, don't get discouraged, son. Your opportunity will come. Jason and his wife struggled doing odd jobs, saving their money to buy a truck. They worked and strived until they now own 6 big trucks and managed enough to save enough money to buy a place to park their trucks. As I said, Jason would have many nightmares and would call me needing to talk to someone, just talk over and over what they did and what he saw. I remember one of his many nightmares. He talked about going into this village and being caught in a crossfire, an ambush. Jason was a gunner on a Humvee, and he sits on an open cockpit. As the bullets flew by his head and whizzed by all around him, all he could hear was the hyperventilating of his three comrades in the Humvee. So loud was the hyperventilation, it scared Jason so bad, all he could think of was to fight and defend. It seemed like hours, but it was minutes before the firefight was over. And with his hands frozen on the .50 caliber machine gun, Jason said, "Dad, the ventilation was so loud. So very loud when I realized it wasn't my comrades, Dad, it was me. Dad, I've been shot, blown up in defense of my country. And now the very people I fought for are trying to destroy my family and my livelihood. Now, as his father, there's nothing I could do about his nightmares. Not even the nightmare of losing his business. If in fact that Jason put his business in a location that the city of Pasadena deems not fit, then I say don't be the problem, be the solution. The city of Pasadena owns many properties. You can trade them out, you can relocate them without having to destroy everything he's worked so hard for. As Jason's father, I say keep this in mind. Come up with a reasonable solution. Trade him out, relocate him, do something for him. As a 10-year veteran, Jason came home a hero, and he deserves more than just a get out now sign. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
D. Ramirez.
Good evening, council members. My name is D'Angelo Ramirez, nephew to Jason and Jocelyn Hernandez. For as long as I can remember, I've been around 18-wheelers. These 18-wheelers put food, clothes, and a roof over my head. Mom and uncle are responsible for every single person in this company, and these people are the most hardworking people I have ever met. From waking up at the crack of dawn to getting home after sunset just to do it all over again must say a lot about this company and the work environment they work in. We aren't just some ordinary company. We are a family, and together we form a bond to live this American dream. Mom and Uncle took me and my brother in at a very young age while having 2 kids of their own, with no hesitation, not only because they love us, but because it was the right thing to do. While my great-grandmother was going through her last days, my aunt spent every single last penny she had to make sure my grandmother wouldn't feel any pain, feel alone, or have to worry about passing. I've never met a more passionate woman in my life. She helped me all through high school and helped pave a road to my success in life. And my aunt and uncle raised me to be a good, honest, hardworking man and to never shy away from a challenge and never make a decision out of fear. We are fighters and we'll put our all on the line. My uncle showed me and my cousins and brothers how to be tough through all adversity and to never give up and to push through it. And this business helps more than just one family, it helps many. And without this property, we have no room to grow. These 2 individuals come together to help others when in need, and together are the heart and soul in this company. And all I ask you, council members, are to please reconsider my family. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Robert Jeter.
Good evening, Council. First off, happy birthday to Sammy Casados. Also, I want to congratulate Mayor Tom Reed on being elected Mayor Emeritus by the Pearland City Council, I believe. That sounds right. Lastly, on the renaming several streets after fallen police officers, I think it's a wonderful idea. I'm glad I suggested it the first meeting of this administration back in 2017. Have a good evening, Council.
Thank you, sir. Okay. Presentation of the minutes, January 7th, 2020, 10 a.m.
Motion.
Motion, Ibarra. Second by Lehman. Any questions?
Mayor.
Go ahead, sir.
Mr. Jason spoke last week, so I'm going to comment here in the minutes. Unfortunately, Jason, you and I have communicated via email and phone calls. You actually sent me an email. I'm actually looking at the email since December 6th. That's when you sent me the email. And you've been trying to work for the city since then. I want to first say is this council member never supported your business being shut down. The second thing is you never asked for any special favors. You asked for the planning department to work with you. And when you had your meeting, based on the conversation I had and the emails that we exchanged, is you were asking them to work with you. And when you sat down and met with the planning department and Ms. Deanna, you felt that you didn't get that. You were just asking for a variance. Now, I've gone out to your business, and you're literally about 200 feet away from a truck route. Your parking lot looks much better than some of these other trucking companies' parking lot. And I've actually went by another one off of Pansy and Pine when it was raining, and their parking lot looked horrible compared to yours. So I would do everything possible. I will try to meet with the planning department that's trying to facilitate something. All you're asking is, hey, look at this, give me possibly a variance, let it come up before a council. But I know as a council member, I never supported them going out there to shut down your business. And with that, I'll pass.
Thank you, sir. Go ahead, sir.
I'd like to respond. I did talk to you a couple of weeks ago, and I'm behind you 100%. But what things need to be known, you got a member on the planning department who got a variance himself. You know, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. You need a variance. And I hope planning department is listening where this council can make a decision. But I think it's a fair and just decision if we entertain a variance to get you in business. Good luck to you. Thank you.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Brings us down to progress payments. Motion Casados, second by Bass. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Brings us down to finance resolutions. Motion Lehman,
Second.
second Shanebine. Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed? Brings us down to personnel changes A and C.
Motion.
Motion Lehman, second by Bass. Any questions?
Mayor.
Go ahead, sir.
I'd just like to comment on a couple of our upcoming retirements on Miss Lynn Burke for Burnett, I'm sorry, from HR, and also to Miss Pat Miller, one of our police officers. So they'll be retiring, I believe, on the 31st of this month.
Thanks, sir. All in favor? Oh, go ahead, sir.
Pat Miller and Donald Duncan, he's retired. I want to say congratulations to them. But also on personnel changes, we got a new position for code enforcement. And this goes back to what's been going on the last 2 years. They're related to a council member that has got, out of 5 people, I believe, out of the same district, except one. And she worked in the mayor's campaign. And it's related, and we've had too much relations where city employees, you put an application in, and not city employees, but anybody trying to get a job, you put an application in, but then they hire family members or somebody who worked in a campaign or a friend of the city councilman. There's too much going on in that respect. We don't get the good workforce like we need. And Madam Secretary, on employees, on code enforcement, put me down as a no on Bo Pritchard. That I'll pass.
Thank you, sir. Okay, all in favor? Any opposed?
No.
We have no Wheeler, Casados, and Harrison. Any bar? Okay. Got that?
Okay, and the other
Y'all
two
vote no
council.
on everything?
Yeah.
Okay, we got no on everything. Harrison's voting yes, but no on Bo. Okay. Passes. Brings us down to voting on the appointment of Blair McClure to Civil Service Commission and the appointment of Manny Memon on the Suspension Appeals Board. We have a motion by Caton, second by Wheeler. Any questions? Go ahead, sir.
Well, the Manny and Blair, but Blair times it don't pass, hasn't it?
What was that again?
Blair McClure,
Yes, sir.
young man, time has gone by.
Oh.
I remember him. Oh, excuse me. He worked hard in other campaigns. He knows about Pasadena politics, and it's good to see him. And I know he'll do a good job on this Civil Service Commission. But I had to explain to him, you know, when they terminate anybody, they can appeal to City Council. So we're there. We'll be watching. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, Madam Secretary, brings us down to final readings.
Ordinance 2021, accepting, approving, and adopting the valuation and assessment of industrial district properties lying within the extraterritorial jurisdiction of the City of Pasadena for the 2019 tax year, and based upon the provisions of the contract agreements, distributing the applicable funds in the appropriate general fund accounts of the city, providing for a repealing clause, and containing the severability clause. Ordinance 2022, purchase of recycling and garbage cars from Cascade Engineering, $120,000. Ordinance 2023, purchase of 29 2020 Chevrolet Tahoe PPVs to replace vehicles within the City of Pasadena fleet from Lake County Chevrolet, $1,142,866.70. Ordinance 2024, purchase of 2020 Ford Mustang GT from Silsby Ford, $49,275.82. Ordinance 2025, contract with Avaya Inc. for the city's annual maintenance for Avaya phone system and Audix answering system, $72,398.52. Ordinance 2026, agreement with the City of Houston for compromise and settlement of claims and provision of water and wastewater service to be paid to the City of Pasadena in the amount of $776,431.56, and additionally, there is a refund of excess contingency service available as of June 30, 2018 in the amount of $300.
You're out of time, ma'am.
Oh, gosh. Hang on a second. I don't know where, I can't find it. Oh. Sorry.
No worries.
I apologize.
There's no way you timed it.
No, excuse me. Okay, where did I leave off? Okay, let me start over on 2026. My apologies. Agreement with the City of Houston for compromise and settlement of claims and provision of water and wastewater service to be paid to the City of Pasadena in the amount of $776,431.56, and additionally, there is a refund of excess contingency reserve available as of June 30, 2018 in the amount of $316,365.99. And ordinance 2027, amend ordinance number 2019-125, interlocal agreement with Harris County for the Red Bluff Road 24 and water line adjustment project from Kirby Drive and Taylor Lake CIPW 063 for an additional amount, $36,707.88.
Thank you, ma'am. We have a motion by Shanebine, second by Bass. Any questions? Go ahead, sir.
Madam Secretary, I'd like to abstain from 2020-001 with anything to do with Total Petrochemicals. And also, I'd like to vote no on 2020-004. I will be voting no on this vehicle from Silsby, the 2020 Ford Mustang. I think this is not a very wise way to spend funds from the public funding. This is what this car has done. I mean, if you want to have a nice vehicle to take out for whatever the case may be, to go to a school or things of that nature, whatever happened to getting a seized vehicle that the police department, the drug task force took over, you know, a nice Mustang, Charger, whatever you want, a Hummer, whatever. There's other ways to go about doing this and spending money, I think, a little bit better. That being said, I'm going to vote no on it. I think it's just, quite honestly, a little foolish. We've got a lot of things to do in the city. This could, you know, quite honestly, be putting programs for the youth, for students. I feel like If the police want to do something, let's get out and help the crossing guards at the schools, walk kids across the street. I think that would be pretty good, so having the kids, you know, how police officer holding a child's hand going across streets, get them home safely. That I pass.
Thank you, sir.
Mayor,
Go ahead, sir.
I'd like to make a motion to amend 2024. I'd like to make the motion to amend ordinance 2024 on the final reading to correct the account number from 2010-7915 to 0437915 for appropriation as shown on the attached pages.
Okay, we have a motion, second by Caton. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
That's on the motion.
On the motion. No on the motion? Okay, Ibarra votes no on the motion. Okay, brings us back to voting on all the ordinances. Go ahead, sir.
Mayor, I'm going to vote no on ordinance 2020-004.
Okay, sir. Go ahead, sir.
I hate to bring this up. Well, I don't hate to bring it up. I'll bring it up anyway. As far as information here, this car is funded by HGAC, Harris County Mayors and Councils Association. This memo right here states that we're not buying it, HGAC is, and therefore we're getting some funds from them. That's great. So therefore, I have to support it.
Okay,
Thank
sir.
you.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No. We have Ibarra no, Casados no, and Wheeler no. Passes. Okay, Madam Secretary, it brings us down to
For
first.
clarification, Councilmember O'Barr, no on 04 only?
Yes, all of them no on.
Madam Secretary,
Yes, sir.
if I may, I'd like to make it clear, ordinance 2020-001, I'm abstaining.
You're the only nay on that one. The
Well,
other,
yes.
and 04.
Got it.
Yes.
Okay, yes, sir.
Okay, Madam Secretary, brings us down to first readings.
Ordinance number 2028, agreement with HR Green, Inc. for professional service for water system disinfection evaluation for a total appropriation $34,940.
Motion.
Motion Caton. Second Bass. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Ordinance number 2029, agreement with HR Green for professional services for fence improvements at 5 water tank site CIPW 067 for a total appropriation $40,755.
Motion.
Motion Shanebine. Second Lehman. Any questions?
Mayor.
Go ahead, sir.
I'm going to be taking a no vote on this, Mayor and Council. I feel like $40,000 for fencing is a little bit exorbitant. I wish it would, maybe get the city or some of the workers to do this. I know that our Public Works Department is busy, but I do think that saving the city money is very important right now. And the amount of money that we're spending on other things, we need to save as much as we can. If y'all remember, during the budget process, this was one of the reasons why I voted to take $3 million out of our professional services, because contracts of this nature, in my opinion, are something that we can go out and do, the city can do ourselves. TCEQ said we needed new fencing and things of that nature, and I completely agree if that's what the conclusion they came to, but there's other ways around it. $40,000, $40,755, in my opinion, is quite a bit. And again, professional services is coming out of this account. That's one of the reasons, that's one of the main places where I felt we could save money. And that's one of the reasons why I did vote to move that money out of there, put it back in our general fund, so we can use it for streets, sidewalks, and things of that nature. That I pass.
Thank you, sir. All in favor?
Go ahead, Mayor.
Oh, go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Mayor. As the gentleman speaker said, we all got to work together. But we don't have to all vote yes or no. We got to think these things out. That's why the people elected us to make our own decisions. And I cannot think of a better place to make your own decision at a public forum where everybody sees and hears you. And if they don't like you or what you say or how you operate, they'll vote you out of office. And that's the way it should be. That's our constitutional, that's our rights as citizens and the government. It's the only way this government functions. But I'm not going to support this because I do believe, my position is that somebody at City Hall, the engineering department, figure out dimensions for $40,000. I could do that. But it's against the law for me to do it, so I won't do it. So therefore, I'm going to vote no. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Ibarra, you said? No. Ibarra, Harrison, Castelos, Willard, no. Passed the first reading. Madam Secretary.
Ordinance 2020-10, agreement with Camden Design Group, Inc. for architectural and engineering services for the renovation of the old City Hall, North Wing CIP MO41, in the amount of $445,450 with additional services of $60,000 for a total appropriation $505,450 from the 2018 Certificates of Obligation Fund Balance Account.
Motion by Bass, second by Shanebine. Any question? All in favor?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, sir.
I need to discuss it. I discuss it in pre-council. I generally hold my ammunition until we get out here in the audience, but it was brought up, and so I felt like I need to discuss it there. So they might even know my whole card, but I really don't care. I'm going to discuss it anyway. That building was built in 1981. That's the same year I got first elected to city council. And the building was 6 months before we had certificate of occupancy. The contractor fouled up so much on that building that the city wouldn't even take it over. All right, the building's 40 years old, and it's a junk building. There's no digital information in there, and every time I used to go see the controller in there, he would show me the crack slab, and they haven't repaired the crack slab. The doors wouldn't shut, and it's really structurally unsound. And they want to spend $5.3 million to remodel the building. This city hall is, it was donated to the city, but the guy got, I think, a $30 million tax write-off, but the value of the building at that time on the appraisal roll was $5 million. And now we got space all over this building. It wasn't seemed like any proper planning. You got spaces where there's 4 employees on the floor that takes care of a fourth of that main floor. There's no evaluation. You got too much extra space here. But that's a junk building, and they want to spend it for different things. Police wants evidence room. They had an evidence room over there. That's the wrong way Corrigan building. They built one 4 years ago next to the police department. But they built the building the wrong way. They've got a police that they store it down there on Shaw Street. And in other words, I can't support it because the city controller says, did I get my 2 minutes?
Go ahead and finish your statement, sir.
That was 2 minutes just then.
You'd like to hear that one, huh? City controller says we cannot go out on bonds, certificate of obligation or bonds, unless we raise taxes. We're not going to raise taxes in an election year, so therefore there won't be any major road improvements for the next year or so. All right. So if we can't make any road improvements, why are we spending $5.3 million on a junk building? We got enough junk buildings. The city should stay out of the real estate business. That I pass.
Thank you, sir. Any other comments?
Mayor,
Go ahead, sir.
I'm going to speak on an opposite side of this ordinance. I think in these instances, the city has done a very well job of planning for future use of its buildings. If we were to rebuild the building that's sitting across the street, we would have to spend an additional $3 to $4 million on top of the $5 million. So you're looking at about $8 to $9 million for a new building. So structurally, the building's sound. To be able to put only $5 million into it, it'll be a direct benefit to our Pasadena Police Department. It ensures that we have a campus that will be complete so that people won't be driving all over the city to take care of city business. Also, 2 other buildings that it affects will be our old Academy building there on Spencer that will be realigned to house DOT, our city marshals, code enforcement officers. They will be in the new building across the street. Our clinic will be in the building across the street. So this is an opportunity for us to upgrade. And if we look at things in a realistic perspective, we're actually saving the city money. Nobody has said that we're cutting any road projects. Nobody has even mentioned raising any taxes. So, saying that we're going to lose road funding and have to increase taxes and go out for bonds or certificate of obligations, nobody's even considered that. All we're doing is trying to enhance the city services of our Pasadena Police Department and for our citizens.
Thank you, sir.
Mayor?
Go ahead, sir.
I know y'all, just so that y'all know, the public is allowed to go back here before pre-council. The council has a little meeting to go over the agenda beforehand. Y'all are more than welcome to come back here. What was discussed in pre-council about this building is that the foundation is bad. Foundationally, it's bad. And that's going to be part of the process. We'll have to take everything off down the red iron and fix the foundation. So to say it's structurally sound is inaccurate. Furthermore, if you are on council here, or if you've been keeping on council for a few years, about 4 years ago, we built a police evidence building, a brand new police evidence building for $300,000. Just the design of this one is over $500,000. So to say that we're saving money by spending $5.8 million, in my opinion, is factually inaccurate as well. We could do things as a city that could save a lot of money, open up green space, and we could put those funds towards directly helping people. I do agree that we have space in this building, there's space in other areas, and we already own buildings on our books, and this is what happens. We get in the process of buying this building, renovating that building, whatever the case is. We need to be smart with our money. We do have some additional fees coming up for public works in the future, and those will be revealed as we move forward as our council, but I won't be supporting it because I just think there's a much more financially responsible way to get what we need done. That'll pass.
Thank you, sir. Go ahead, Mayor.
I was going to say something, man.
You turn your microphone on. There was the clue.
No. So the driving force behind this is basically the police department has about 400,000 articles worth of evidence back there, and they don't have enough space for it. So for the integrity of the evidence and for due process, they need a space for the evidence so they can put the evidence. I'm not necessarily opposed to the property down there. What I oppose is that they want to demolish the south side of the old city hall, and on the north side of City Hall, they want to sit here and remodel that part. They're going to take it down, all the way down, and then try to build a property room on the first floor. They're going to house some other offices up on the second floor. My thing is I've been up on council for almost 9 years, and every couple of years we're going back and forth about we don't have enough office space. We need to buy this building. We need to remodel this building. And my main thing is if it changes, maybe I'll support the next council meeting, but I'm for demolishing completely the old city hall, completely. Take it to the ground, build a nice building up there. It might cost us more than $5 million, maybe cost us $7 million, I don't know. But at the end of the day is let's plan for tomorrow. We keep on having this issue every so often that we don't have enough office space. We need to house these people here. Let's build a nice building, whether it costs us $5, $7, $9 million. Have enough space that in the future, if the city grows as far as city employees, we have enough space and we don't have to keep on purchasing properties and remodeling buildings and stuff like that. So if things change, then maybe I'll support the next meeting. But the main driving force behind this, like I said, is for the evidence. There's 400,000 articles of evidence that needs to be disposed of. Unfortunately, there was some mismanagement over the years that it never got done. Unfortunately, we have to deal with it now. So with that, I'll pass.
Thanks, sir. Okay. All in favor? Any opposed?
No.
Ibarra, Harrison, Casados, and Wheeler, no. Passes.
Ordinance 2020-11, amend ordinance number 2019-157, which adopted the annual budget for the fiscal year 2020.
Motion Casados, second by Caton. Any questions?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, sir.
Now, the comments were made, we had to talk about a tax increase, we had to talk about CO's budget, and this ordinance right here. Thank you, Savvy. I need an automatic here, just leave it on. But, the comment was made, nobody said this, the possible tax increase, we can't, the year election, and also that we can't sell any certificates of obligations because we'd have to take it out of revenue funds and have a tax increase, and also we can't sell bonds because of our debt service. Well, the comments were made to all that, and it's not true. All he needs to do is ask the city controller, and he might find out what's going on. With that, I pass.
Thank you, sir.
Mayor,
Go ahead, sir.
I'm going to respond to that because in this ordinance, all it does is saying that we're amending our annual budget. That doesn't have anything to do with taxes or COs. That amounts to moving funds from one account to another account. Thank you.
Okay, sir.
Oh, I meant that.
Go ahead. Mr. Burke.
Well, let me correct both council members, actually. This particular amendment has to do with the pay raises for the city employees. So city employees are going to get their 2% or 3% raise that was budgeted in October. So that's what this particular ordinance is about.
Okay. All in favor? Any opposed? Let's move on.
Ordinance 2020-12, determining the public necessity for and authorizing the acquisition of a property at 5812 Sandy Lane in Pasadena, Texas for the Golden Acres Detention Pond, SAB PD 044, and the expenditure of $250,000 for land acquisition and any related relocation assistance and ancillary cost in an amount not to exceed $250,000 from the 2018 Certification of Obligation Fund Balance Account.
Motion.
We have a motion by Wheeler, second by Lehman. Any questions?
Mayor,
Yes, but
Go ahead, sir.
just like to mention, this is going to be a detention pond once we buy out this property in the front part of the Bliss Meadows subdivision. FEMA bought out all the houses on Lucy Lane a few years back and all but one on Sandy Lane. So this will give us a big open space to build a big detention basin in there to keep the water off of those people so they can route their flood water into this detention basin without a pass.
Thank you, sir.
Mayor?
Go ahead, sir.
I would like to give kudos to this administration and our Public Works Department for doing this. Golden Acres, if you don't know, it used to be another city, was incorporated with Pasadena. That part of town, it just depended from street to street, it has a plethora of drainage issues, flooding issues, and anything that we can do to help them out. That's one of the areas I get called the most on is this isn't draining, that's not draining, or every time whatever the case is, but this is a good thing for that neighborhood, that community, and any steps we can take to make sure it doesn't flood is a good thing. And so fully in support of this.
Thank you, sir. Go ahead, sir.
yes, Mayor. Yeah, and I was in Public Works, and I discussed it with them. They asked me a question. They said, what do you remember about Strawberry Road relocation? And I told them, well, I remember all of it. I was on council back then. And they asked me, there's one home left, and it's going to be a great project in Bliss Meadows. There's one home left they got to relocate. I think they had a appraised value of $180,000, but they asked me, do they have to pay any relocation costs? And I let them know that if there's any federal funds that are involved, you need to pay relocation costs. And they called legal, and legal said they didn't think they need to pay relocation costs. Now, I see here it says relocation assistance. I'm glad that's in there because it's a standard table that the federal government has, and you're required to do it when you use any federal funds. And young lady at engineering said it's going to be federal funds because they use federal funds to build the detention ponds. So Public Works did a great job, and I'm glad they're paying them relocation assistance because it's only fair when you buy somebody's property from eminent domain that you relocate it to a safe and sanitary housing someplace else. With that, I pass.
Thank you, sir. All in favor? Any opposed? Madam Secretary.
Yes, sir. Ordinance 2020-13, amend ordinance number 2018-126, contract with Waste Management of Texas, Inc. for commercial and industrial trash services to reduce the city commercial franchise fee from 25% to 15% effective March 1, 2020.
Motion.
Motion Caton, second Lehman. Any questions? All in favor? Go ahead, sir.
Yes, this one here, I'm going to, this meeting, I'm going to vote against this till I get some more information. Reason being is because I believe 3 or 4 years ago around there, Waste Management increased the rates, or their garbage rates on the entire city, about 25-30%. They only pick up garbage for half the city, but we increased rates across the board on the entire city, which didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. This, right now, they're talking about 25% is what they were paying the city. Now the franchise fee is going back to 15%, which on paper, and the way I understand it, looks like it's going to be a 10% savings to small business owners and to apartment complex, whoever rents the big dumpsters. With that being said, I do want to look at this a little bit closer and make sure that the numbers that I'm looking at and what I'm seeing are correct. This is an important vote, and I don't want to make a wrong vote when it directly affects small businesses and apartment complexes and things of that nature. So that being said, I'm going to vote no on this for this meeting, but I pass.
Thank you. Go ahead, Mr. Harrison.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, I asked some questions to pre-council because in the contract itself, it doesn't say that they're actually going to lower the rates to the customer by 10%. It just says they're going to lower it from 25 to 15%. And I asked questions. And Public Works said they are going to lower the rates for the customer because they went up 2 years ago with the customer on those bins and on the franchise deal. So I'm going to take them at the word this time. But I've always got a second vote, and if they're wrong, I'll vote no. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, Alan.
Mayor,
Go ahead, sir.
I was just going to say this is a good thing. When it came, I wasn't on council, but when I read this in 2018, I thought it was a bad deal for the city. At that time, 2 council members voted against it, Councilmember Wheeler and Councilmember Casados. But going down from 25 to 15, it's good for small business owners, and so I'll be supporting this. And I'm glad that it came back on the agenda. That'll pass.
Thank you.
Mayor,
Go ahead, sir.
I'll be supporting this also. In my opinion, anything we can do to help small businesses such as this, I think we need to step up and do. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
And
Go ahead,
Mayor,
sir.
in the language, it specifically states commercial and industrial trash services. So that directly impacts our small businesses. And, to have a 10% reduction, that's really unheard of these days. So I'll be supporting this.
Thank you, sir. Okay, all in favor? Any opposed?
No.
1 no. Casados. Passes. Madam Secretary brings us down to resolutions.
Resolution, you want me to read them all?
Please.
Correct? Resolution 2020-13, accepting in-kind donation of door prizes valued at $15 from Interim Healthcare Houston Southeast for Madison Joe Senior Center October Bingo event. Resolution 2020-14, accepting a donation of $5,000, check 1 of 2, from Chevron Phillips Chemical for title sponsorship for Team Up to Clean Up. Resolution 2020-15, accepting donations from various donors totaling $7,775.28 for the care and treatment of animals housed at the animal shelter. Resolution 2020-16, accepting in-kind donation of supplies valued at $200 from Jajah Depish and Family for the Multipurpose Center to be used by participants. Resolution 2020-17, authorizing Pasadena Parks and Recreation Department to seek funding annually in the amount of $1,000 from Target for the youth soccer program. Resolution 2020-18, accepting donations valued at $308.57 from the Friends of Pasadena Public Library and 13 books valued at $254.35 from Mid-America Books for programming, volunteer and staff appreciation, luncheon or giveaways, and books for the collection. Resolution 2020-19, accepting donation of Walmart gift cards valued $400 from Queens Court HOA for needy families during holidays 2019. Resolution 2020-20, accepting a donation $100 from Maria Elena Ramirez for the Madison Job Senior Center events. Resolution 2020-21, authorizing the mayor or his designee to execute documents related to Harris County Precinct 2 Partnership Capital Improvement Project applications. And Resolution 2020-22, authorizing and approving the mayor to execute the Department of Defense license for real property use by and between the city of Pasadena, Texas, and the United States of America.
Motion.
Motion Lehman, second by Shanebine. Any questions?
Yes, Mayor.
Go ahead, sir.
I'm going to reiterate Commissioner Adrian Garcia for pushing this, and the city won't have any bond money for the next year, so we need to push this for any road project, any funds we can get available for the city of Pasadena in conjunction with Precinct 2 County Commissioner. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. All in favor? Any opposed? Thank y'all for coming out. This meeting is adjourned.